Well, first we opened up with what we called macro choices, and we asked these 3 questions for major decisions. We looked at Jesus' life, and those questions were real quick. He asked these questions. Is it written? Is it in the Bible? That helps us decide an answer. Number 2, is it love? Is what I'm about to do love? Does it care more about my decision? Does it care more about other people than it does myself? And then lastly, is it on the agenda? Is it part of God's will for my life? But there's some things that aren't clear, so how do we find that out? How do we make those decisions? Well, we have intense questions, and here it is. This is your fill in the blank. And we talked about this last week. In light of my past and considering my present circumstances and looking forward to the future, what is the best thing for me to do? In light of my past, in other words, what's happened in my past, where am I right now? What are my present circumstances? And where do I want to be in the future? What is the most knowledgeable? What is the wisest thing? What is the most insightful thing for me to do? That's the past, that's the present, and that's the future. And every time we face something, we should ask this question. Every time we have a decision to make, whether how small or how large, it should be in light of where have I come from, where am I now, and where do I want to go? How does the answer to this question fit in here? The first one is past tense. We all have a past. Our past can set us up to make poor decisions. I was talking to a guy who had recently started following Christ. This was a few years ago. And he was a heavy partier. And one of his habits was he worked at the Kennedy Space Center. And when you left the south entrance of the Kennedy Space Center and drove down State Road 3 about 4 miles after you got out of the gate, there was a place called King's Duck Inn, KDI. So he came in and said, I don't know what to do because I'm driving down the road and I'm saying, I'm not going to pull into KDI. I'm not going to pull into King's Duck Inn. And I get down there and it's like, and once I get there, I'm there till 8 o'clock at night. And I said, here's what you need to do. You need to take NASA Causeway home through Titusville and come down US 1. He said, that's 15 miles out of my way. I said, in light of your past, that's the right decision for you to make. Micro decisions lead to macro decisions. Against the backdrop of my past, what's the wisest thing for me to do? Number 2 is the present tense. What about the present? How do I make decisions being determined by my present conditions, my present circumstances? So in light of your present circumstances, maybe you're offered a job. Man, Pastor Eric, I got offered a job. It's way more than I'm making. It's a promotion, more money. The only thing is I have to travel 4 to 5 days a week. Well, think about your past. Yeah. I used to travel a lot, and I get in trouble when I get away from my church family. And now my teens are growing. My kids are growing. I feel like I should be there. Well, then it might not be the best decision. How about your future tense? How about the future? Well, I want my marriage to be on level X. I want it to be at this level. Well, then what should your decisions be? What should I do? Your kids, where do you want them to be? Where do you want your career to be? Where do you want your marriage life to be? Well, you consider your past, your present, and your future.